All right. Well, happy Tuesday, Auvoria Prime. I am on a little late. I've been absolutely killed with business lately. It is a beautiful thing. Credit is in such demand right now. It is absolutely astonishing, especially coming out of the pandemic like this. You know, there's a lot of you out there who may have been affected by that. And credit repair, once you're back on your feet financially, that's a caveat that I cannot emphasize enough, is we all go through something in life. We all encounter some stuff, and we, run into financial difficulties. We get blindsided by job loss or illness, medical. It can be a pandemic. There's just a lot of different reasons that we can end up with bad credit. And the very, very first thing that you need to do before you start credit repair is get back stable financially, because sinking a bunch of time, effort, and probably money into credit repair before you're financially stable can be a waste of time and money, because if you have more lates, more collections, more everything, all that work and money that you put into it is for nothing. So if you're in one of those positions, first order of business, get your finances straight first. And then once you have that, then start taking a look at credit repair. Now, we're going to talk about credit repair specifically during this segment because there are a lot of misconceptions about credit repair itself. And most people, in addition to misconceptions out there, most people are only used to the very traditional standard credit repair, which is what 99.999% of all credit repair companies are doing, is just standard credit repair, traditional credit repair, where it's been done for years and years and years. What I do is different. We are exploiting a loophole in the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It is working absolutely phenomenally. Whereas with traditional credit repair, you are looking at a 9, 12, 18-month process, depending on how much stuff you have in your credit that needs to be removed and what type of stuff. You could be in that program for up to 2 years. With what I do and what we feature through Auvoria Prime, shortens that. It is very predictable, 2 to 4 months, and you are going to be pretty much cleaned up. That comes with a money back guarantee. So it shortens the time frame of getting the negative items removed. The other thing that has to be addressed is where the coaching comes in, because you need to intentionally build the right kind of credit so that you can achieve the highest possible score in the shortest possible time. And there is a methodology to that. My own personal case, I had a real estate company back in Vegas, and then I got wiped out during the crash. And I got reset to zero. I got lost everything. Ended up getting a divorce at the same time. Divorce is never good for the credit, but there was a silver lining to that cloud because, well, by the time we got divorced, there's nothing left for her to take. So, look on the right side. Anyway, when I finally pulled my head out of my ass and decided to rejoin society as a productive member of society, one of the first orders of business, I did get on my feet financially first. And then I turned my attention to my credit. That's actually how I got involved into the credit industry. But it took me, my scores were low. I rarely see anybody with his scores as low as I had. I was sitting around 400 in all 3 credit bureaus. It took me 26 months to get back over 800. If I could go back and do it again, knowing what I've learned over the past, 5-6 years, I could shorten that time frame. Not by much, but I could shorten that probably to around 20 months. So there is time involved, but it's some that's going to pass anyway. And you have to go through the steps to build the right kind of credit. And if you know what you're doing, you can really, really shorten that amount of time that it takes to get really premium scores. But getting somebody from wherever they're at now into the 600s is child's play. I'm going to tell you that right now. I have rarely found anybody I can't get from where they're at now, 300, 400, 500, wherever, into the 600s, over 620, qualified to buy a house in 90 days or less. It is very rare that that will happen. And if that does happen, it's usually because they wouldn't follow the coaching advice. So it's a two-part thing, always. It's getting the negative stuff removed, and it's building the right kind of credit going forward. So there's a lot of things involved with it. You cannot simply just give somebody the formula, because every single person's credit report is different. Every single person's goals are different. Every person's starting point is different. And the path that they're going to take in terms of the repair is probably going to pan out differently as well. It's not exactly the same for everybody. So that is where the custom coaching comes into play. It cannot be a cookie cutter solution for everybody. It doesn't work that way. So that's why we work so closely with our clients, is to make sure that they're getting a very personalized touch, very personalized coaching, and there's no cookie cutter approach to anything. So that being said, there are some things that are a constant. We've gone over this before in some of the other things. Suppressing your information on the 3 or 4, what do you call them, secret credit bureaus. You've got the 3 main credit bureaus. You've got TransUnion, Experian, Equifax. But when you dispute stuff with those bureaus, they are going to verify that information in a variety of ways. One of the ways that they're going to do that is these other secret credit bureaus like LexisNexis and CoreLogic. They're going to verify a lot of the information there. For example, if somebody declares bankruptcy and it gets disputed, the credit bureaus do not go to the court to verify if that person did a bankruptcy. They go to LexisNexis. LexisNexis is a database for public information, among other things, but that is where they verify that information. So if you, before you even start the credit repair process, you go and you block and you suppress each one of those, it's going to help the results in a big, big way. Another thing, another little trick that you can need to do before you even start the credit repair process, and we coach our clients on this, is calling each one of the bureaus. The first thing is get your credit report. You can go to 365creditmonitoring.com, get a full detailed credit report, all 3 bureaus with FICO 8 scores. And that's important. You want FICO scores, not the Vantage scores. So be careful. Even if you don't use this credit monitoring service and use a different one, make sure they're providing you true FICO scores. So get a copy of your credit report. Know what you're dealing with. Be very realistic with yourself on where you're at right now. And when you're going through that credit report, at the very top of it, you're going to have all your personal information. It's going to have a lot of old addresses on there. It's going to have addresses you maybe not even haven't even lived at. I just had an address pop up on my own credit report from someplace in Western Florida. I can't remember the city, but I've never lived in Florida. So that can be indicative of somebody maybe has a similar name or social security number. My name is kind of unique. That's generally not a problem. You know, there's John Smiths out there or something like that. You might get cross-pollination on the credit report, so that can happen. If you have a pretty unique name like mine, that doesn't happen so often. But it can also be indicative of attempted identity theft or fraud, where they're using a different address to try and steal your identity. There can be a lot of different things. Either way, when you pull your credit report, the first thing that you want to do before you start any credit repair of any kind is go through. There should be just your current address on each of the 3 bureaus. Any other address on there, you want to call the credit bureaus. If you see extra addresses on, for example, Equifax, I don't care if you've lived there before or not, or if they're tied to you or not, you call up Equifax, you ask for the fraud division, and you say that you are not associated with those addresses. You want them all removed. The trick is to be nice. You know, these are people too at the bureaus. The bureaus are the evil empire for sure, but the people working there are just people like you and me. So just be nice, you're gonna get a lot further. And ask them very politely to remove those from the credit report because you are not associated with those addresses, and use that verbiage. Say that you are not associated with those addresses. Chances are really good that we're going to remove them for you. If they don't, you can hang up and you can call back and try somebody else. It's always up to the person answering the phone. Either way, you want to get those addresses off. It makes your credit report a lot more congruent, and it also helps the dispute process, because if a collection originated, you got a collection and you were living at a certain addresses, that's one of the ways that they're going to verify it. So if that address is no longer on the credit report, then the chances of them being able to verify it are reduced. Nothing is 100% in this game. Understand that. Nothing is 100%. The credit repair game is not an exact science. No matter how good anybody is or how knowledgeable or how experienced, it's not an exact science. So you need every single advantage that you can get. So that's a big one that you can do. Not to mention, it makes your credit report streamlined. It does not give lenders any reason to question things. They see a bunch of different addresses, or they see a bunch of different this, that, and the other. That can be a red flag for some lenders, not all, but some. And the less questions they ask, the better off you are when it comes to getting a loan, getting credit cards, getting financing, or whatever it is that you're looking for. So those are two very, very important things. One, suppress your information. I will tell you exactly where to go to suppress those if you give me 1 second. LexisNexis is one of them. You can Google that. Let me look at my templates here. Okay. I am not even seeing it. I can give you the numbers for Equifax and Experian and TransUnion, the fraud department. So actually, I will share that screen so that you can get these numbers. Okay, there they are. Equifax, 888-548-7878. Experian, 888-397-3742. And TransUnion, 800-916-8800. Those are the numbers. Is that even there yet? Hold on. There we go. Okay. Equifax, 888-548-7878. Experian, 397-3742. TransUnion, 800-916-8800. Those are the numbers to call to have them remove all the other addresses. You want one address, the one you're at currently, your mailing address. It's the only one you want left on any of the bureaus. And a reminder, again, do this before you start any sort of credit repair process. All right, we are going to stop this share, and I'm going to find those other Mm, 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 mm. Thought I had him here. Apparently I do not. Let me do this. Okay, LexisNexis.com obviously is that one. Core Logic. I thought I had them all written down. Innovis and SageStream. That's right. So you got CoreLogic.com, you got LexisNexis.com, you've got Innovis, Innovis.com, and SageStream. You basically want to freeze all of those because they are companies that hold information. So the credit bureaus, when you dispute things, are going to verify information in a bunch of different ways. That's one of them. So if you get those frozen, then that blocks one of the ways they have of turning down your disputes. So you want to get those, and you get all the addresses removed. This is going to help you immensely in the credit repair process. It doesn't matter whether you use our system, somebody else's system. I don't know why you would use somebody else's system and you spend a year and a half messing around when you get it done in 2 to 4 months, but it's 100% up to you. The second thing, obviously, we talked about building the right kind of credit. Building the right kind of credit is very important. There are a couple little tricks that you can use to jumpstart this process. Once you get that other stuff, once you get your data frozen on those 4 other ones, LexisNexis, SageStream, CoreLogic, and Innovis, and you've got all of your addresses taken care of, and employers and everything else is streamlined in your information in the 3 major credit bureaus, then there are a couple things that you can do without credit to get a big increase in your score. First one is get on some credit cards with authorized users. We talked about this before. Very easy to do. Just make sure that you trust that person who's adding you, because if they max out that card or they have late, or they do it, whatever other stuff they do, your credit's going to take the hit. So make sure somebody very trustworthy. Second thing you can do is set up a account with Credit Strong. I would recommend, depending on your financial situation, setting up the largest one that you possibly can, which is $10,000. And we talked about this before, but to give you a quick review, Credit Strong, you set up a loan. They don't actually give you the money. They hold on to the money, and then you make a payment plan with them. And it shows up on your credit report like you're paying on a loan. So you do not need your credit to be absolutely horrible. You can still get that. That's not a problem. So those are 2 things you can do immediately that are going to jump up your score. But also, a lot of this depends on where you are starting. If you have a whole bunch of good credit already, you may not need to do those things. It may just be a matter of getting the negative stuff off, letting your score go up, and then adding some good stuff from there. If you have absolutely trash credit or no credit, then the authorized users and companies like Credit Strong or Self-Lender can be very, very valuable in getting you on the board, especially if you have no credit. So those are a couple things that you can do to jumpstart the process. And you should be good, especially if you're getting a reputable credit repair company or somebody like us who's going to get it done quick, and you're doing those things. You can see some radical changes in your score very, very quickly. So that's the personal credit. The most powerful combo is having good personal credit, and if you're a small business owner, building out the business credit as well. So I would check out the video I did that goes into depth on business credit, a lot more detail than I'm going to go into tonight, but essentially business credit is built completely separate, legally 100% separated from your personal social security number, your personal credit. It is a completely separate entity built under your corporation, whether it's LLC, S Corp, C Corp, whatever it is. That's where the business credit comes in. You can build from the ground up, you can build a robust business credit profile that will open up a ton of financing options. This is one of the most powerful tools if you're a small business owner. And so many people don't know about it, and the people who know about it rarely understand it. And that's sad because it's such a powerful tool. It gives a small business owner access to so much more capital, so much more money, loans, lines of credit, high limit credit cards, on average 20, 25 times the limit you're going to get on personal cards. So you get a lot more money, and you're protecting, you're isolating and insulating your personal, social, and your personal credit from anything that might happen in the business. In case that business goes under, if you do it right, you can leave your personal credit intact. And that is a very powerful thing. Anybody who's, like me, when I lost my real estate business, anybody who's gone through that knows, if you look back on it, if I had set up business credit correctly, it would have saved me so much heartache and headache because it would have left my personal credit mostly intact. And that would have left me way ahead. But live and learn. There is no failure. There is only lessons. And if you learn the lesson, if you've had credit issues and you learn from it, this can be your opportunity to rebuild bigger and stronger and better than you were before, because now you're armed with the knowledge. It's like that meme that's going around all the time. It's like, you're not starting over, you're starting with experience. So that can be a really, really powerful thing. And in my own case, I had amazing credit before, but I didn't know about business credit. It took that experience to really teach me about business credit, because I thought I knew what I was doing, I didn't. And it also taught me how to more properly use good credit, because you can very easily get over leveraged if you have great credit, because people will be bending over backwards to hand you money. So you have to be a little bit wiser with your choices and with your decisions revolving credit. Now that my credit is phenomenal again, I realize what a powerful tool it is, even more so than I did back then. And it is going to be one of the key components. Well, it's not going to be. It is one of the key components to me rebuilding this financial empire. And that, mixed with the business credit, it's a very, very, very powerful combination. So understand that. I've been moving this week, and everything has been topsy-turvy. I apologize for the weird lighting. I'm still trying to get it dialed in here, but we're going to have a little bit longer session next Tuesday, and we'll probably start on time. I scheduled my calls a little bit differently too, because that call went way over and kind of delayed my start on this. But we're going to dig into some more stuff next Tuesday. I don't really have the exact subject we're going to go through, but if you guys have any real questions, you can contact me at steve@auvoria.com. Ronin Credit Consultants. That's Ronin like the samurai, like this guy. Ronin, Ronin Credit Consultants. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them during the next AP Live that will be coming at you next Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see you all then. Have a great week.